Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all? I hope you all are doing well and Allah Pak has immense blessings on you. The thing that I want to talk about today is let time heal the wounds you think you don't deserve. Let time heal them all. Backstory is this that I I believed, I really believed that I passed through something that is impeccable, like verse type impeccable. Like, I want to tell you the severity of the badness of that imagination by using the word impeccable, but in the negative connotation. And I believed it for 7 years, and for 7 years I just continuously got reminded about that incident by myself, and a loop, a cycle of being extremely sad and then a bit of a happiness or a bit of a dopamine spike, and then again a loop of sadness and depression and anxiety and panic attacks. For 7 years, I believed that. And out of nowhere, I am not explaining my incident, but out of nowhere, like just that I did istikhara and for something, and that I got to know that incident never really happened. The sadness of which, the depression of which, the panic attacks of which I was carrying through half of my life. I am 23 years old, and as my life of being an aware, yeah, conscious person, it is almost half life of my consciousness. And for half of my conscious life, I was thinking that I passed through a really traumatic incident. And out of nowhere, just once, one of my friend, I won't say friend, I would say a classmate, told me to just trust the process and don't be overwhelmed by the enormity of tasks, as quoted by Qaeda Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Don't be overwhelmed by the enormity of tasks. So he told me to trust the process and let things flow. He didn't know about my trauma or anything. He just randomly said it in a conversation. And I said that I will take control of the incident as much as I can. I will still try to take control. And that conversation ended there, but in the back of my mind, I was having a question mark on this thing that should I trust the process and let it all go out of my control, like the illusion of my control. And after 2 days of doing istikhara, I got to know that that incident never really happened, the trauma never really happened. And to be honest, I didn't know how to respond. It was middle of the night and I didn't know how to respond. And I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling so that I just don't have to face the truth that I didn't, that the trauma I had been carrying was never what happened actually. So after doom scrolling, I finally got up, get out of my bed, took a pen, a diary, and started scribbling random lines, and I made a reel out of it. If you want to check it out on my YouTube or Instagram, I'll keep the links in the description. I scribbled my diary, and that scribbling starts from a really chaotic, messy lines to real straight smooth lines. That is the whole crux of that scribbling. And I made a reel that just trust the process and let things flow and trust Allah Pak. Obviously, trust Allah Pak first and then trust the process, that Allah Pak will never let you down. And I told it in that reel that it may seem easy on paper, but it is a journey of 7 years. And I am teaching you something that I learned after 7 years. And that thing is, I told you all the backstory that I could, and uh, and the lesson that I want to share with you is that just trust the process. Never, never, never feel that Allah Pak is angry of you, Allah Pak is not listening to you, or Allah Pak is not trying to solve your problem. He is doing everything. He just knows what is the best part and what is the best path to learn that lesson for you. And never trust anyone who says that Allah Pak is angry with you. And trust that Allah Pak will always, always be by your side. Because Allah Pak himself says that he is like what his servant assumes of him. So assume the best you can. And I hope you got a good lesson from this video. There are many lessons in this video, but if you take only one, it's trust Allah Pak. And trust me, our mind plays patterns, and it just plays them in such a beautiful way, in such a programmed way, that you never know what is lie and what is truth. It is just programmed. If you program it to believe one thing, at certain point it will tell you that it is truth. At first you will make it your slave, you teach it something, and then it becomes the master and he tells you what is happening. That is how it works. And don't underestimate your mind's power. Be with yourself for most of the time so that you know thyself and you know what your patterns are. Do journaling, it helps a lot. There's so many advices, but I just want you to take one perfectly. Like, one advice that you should not let go from this video is that trust Allah Pak. He loves you and he is with you. He loves you more than 70 mothers. Allah Hafiz.